Okay. All right. Running just a couple of minutes late here. Had some technical difficulties. I think our connection with LinkedIn may have been expired, so we're going to have to repost onto that. But I think we are live now on everything else. So good afternoon. This is goRIA, the live stream. I'm Chuck Fela, and we're doing our Wednesday afternoon thing at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Today, my guest is Louis Diamond from Diamond Consultants. Louis, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Chuck.
You bet. I've been looking forward to this. So for those of you that have been following goRIA, you know that we are the one-stop, or certainly looking to be the one-stop resource for all things you need to know or want to know about transitioning over to the RIA space. And the way we utilize these weekly live streams, which is just a 5 or 10 minute thing, is to put a spotlight on what is new at the goRIA site, which you can see by going to investmentnews.com. There's a tab there that says goRIA. And what I want to talk about today with Louis is a really cool webinar that we're going to host tomorrow, Thursday, October 5th at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. And the title of this webcast is going to be The Do's and Don'ts of Transitioning Your Book, which I know is a top of mind topic for RIAs. So without any further ado, Louis, maybe I'll pass it off to you. You certainly have no shortage of experience in helping advisors transition their book of business. As a teaser, what are some of the things you think we're going to talk about tomorrow?
Yeah, there's a lot to talk about, and we have two other outstanding panelists who come from different backgrounds than myself. So I come at it more from the advisor consulting and recruiting side, kind of being the career Sherpa for folks that are considering going independent or changing firms, and have a lot of on the ground experience there. But we also have Sharon Ash, who is a rockstar attorney who helps with the employment transition side and also the launch of RIAs, and also Tamara, who's really good with being kind of nuts and bolts of repapering and really making sure a business moves over effectively. So I think we each come at it from a different perspective. Something I'm really excited to talk about tomorrow are some of the mistakes to avoid. So everyone wants to know, what do folks wish that they knew before they moved? We can shine a light on that. I think we'll each share kind of a horror story. I think now they're probably a little bit funny. At the time, they're terrifying and scary.
That's right.
But I think everyone can learn from mistakes that people have made in the past. So a lot to talk about, but I think I'm most excited to talk about mistakes to avoid, some really practical tips, and also some war stories, if you will.
Yeah, everyone loves a good war story as long as they're not the lead of that particular story,
Exactly.
Right? So yeah, for sure. So Sharon Ash, who is actually the chief litigation counsel for Market Counsel, I mean, what a treat. And Tamara Williams, of course, of Williams Consulting. She has transitioned a number of advisors, and she's like literally in the weeds, like figuring out how to best fill out the forms, keeping that organized, and moving that pipeline along. So we have everything from like a real macro view, which I think, Louis, is what you're going to bring, to the regulatory and compliance angle, right? How not to get in trouble and how to stay out of trouble. The difference between protocol, non-protocol, what can you do, what can't you do? And I think Sharon from Market Counsel is going to do a great job with that. And then Tamara, again, will give us like the nuts and bolts, how to organize yourself to make for a smooth transition. And as far as horror stories, something I did ask, I'll be moderating this, of course, is everyone brings a good horror story with them. And this is not so much to, and I know there's a German word, I don't know if you know this word, which is taking enjoyment of other people's misery, right? There's an actual German word for this. It's like, I'll get it for tomorrow. It's like Scheifungeitel or something like this. Someone listening is going to know what this is. And it's not for that, but it really is, a way to put a spotlight on really what not to do. We're certainly going to tell you what to do as well, but what not to do could sometimes be just as important. And if nothing else, it makes for some good entertainment, right? So I know everyone's going to bring some good information on that. Okay, so that's going to be tomorrow. Again, Thursday, October 5th at 4 p.m. And the way you want to register for this, registration is free. You could do it on whichever link brought you here. If you go on to the investmentnews.com website, go to the goRIA tab, you'll see the webcast section. You could register there. And I believe also in this LinkedIn or Facebook or Twitter, wherever you're watching this, there's a link I put in there as well. That'll take you directly to the right spot. Now, as far as other content, and I'll give a little teaser on this. I came back from the FPA National Conference last week. And let me tell you something. I'll do a post on this, I think, tomorrow. But I had 7 great interviews with all kinds of fantastic folks. Sonia Dreisler from Choir, we talked about DEI. Dan Moisand, who is actually the board chair for the CFP board, had a wonderful interview with him and really shedding some light on how his fiduciary care and the interest therein really fueling this growth in the RIA space, and a bunch of other great content. So if you go to the investmentnews.com website, look for the goRIA tab, you'll see all those live streams. Those are up right now. And then tune again tomorrow, again, October 5th, Thursday at 4 p.m. And you'll see Lewis, you'll see Sharon, you'll see Tamara, and of course myself. And we're going to spend an entire hour telling you what to do and what not to do when transitioning your book. Lewis, any final thoughts? Maybe give them a little teaser on something, perhaps.
Yeah, let's see here. Yeah, I think like we're talking about, learning from other people's mistakes is a great way to not repeat those mistakes. Yeah. But I'll give you a teaser on, I think, something to do. And this is a fundamental to our guidance to advisors, but start with the end in mind. I think that's from a James Covey book. But if you think about what you want to accomplish at the end, work backwards from there. A lot of times advisors who are considering a transition, they'll kind of just start with the first thing in front of them. I got a call from so-and-so, or my friend went to this firm, or tell me about Schwab versus Fidelity. But what they don't take into account is what do I want to be when I grow up? Ultimately, what's my goal? Where do I want to be 10 years from now? And thinking like that lets you, I think, maximize the efficiency of a transition, to make sure if you're going to move, make one move. Don't have to make multiple. For instance, I want to sell my business one day for the most amount of money. Probably shouldn't go from UBS to Morgan Stanley, because you're going to have to move again in order to do that. So just thinking in that view helps you, I think, to avoid multiple transitions, and also to maximize the outcome and really run an efficient due diligence process. So we'll definitely have plenty of other helpful tips, and also kind of the funny war stories. But there's a lot to learn from the three of us. I'm more excited to learn from my panelists. Honestly, they're smarter than me in their own disciplines, and I'm excited to be able to translate some of their learnings to future clients of mine.
That sounds good. I know I'm looking forward to it. And Lewis, thanks for joining us here today for this live stream, and we will see you tomorrow for the webcast proper. And on behalf of Investment News and goRIA, I'm Chuck Vela. And I am remiss. I forgot to thank our sponsor at the beginning, so I'm going to give them a super big thanks now, which is LPL Financial. And as I like to say and truly believe, if you are loving LPL as an independent broker-dealer, I promise you will love LPL as an RIA custodian. They've got a really interesting value proposition, and we'll be talking about that more sometime in the near future. So again, on behalf of Investment News, goRIA, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next week for this live stream again, and we'll see you tomorrow, hopefully, for this webcast. Take care.
Thank you. See you later.
Thanks, Lewis.